Hey, what's going on, guys? Tim here. So I am in the midst of putting together this uh, piece here that's going to be going on a tote bag after it's painted and stained. And I just got done doing the background staining for this floral design, and I wanted to make a quick video about um, doing some dye work. Now, I kind of figured this out along the way, actually fairly recently, but using a little bit of Super Sheen or Resist before you stain, actually, for me, I've noticed that it helps that it helps prevent the bleeding of the dye, which can be very, very, very aggravating, particularly when you're doing stuff with small lines. I can't tell you how many times I've had a line like this here that's been overrun with bleeding dye, and it just gets to a point where um, I got to figure out alternatives, whether that be a thick paint job, which I like to avoid. I actually like to do uh, you know um, uh, I like to make a kind of like a slurry with my acrylics and give it kind of a subtle, almost like wash to it, rather than just a super opaque um, uh, paint job. Anyhow, so I made these two organic, I don't know, leaf designs things. This one has been hit with a little of the Super Sheen, and this has not. And I'll show you um, what this does. So first we're going to go with the uh, this one here that has no resist on it. Now we'll do the other one. Now this is a great technique, particularly when you are using the dye to make your tooling and your carving pop. The black on natural always looks nice, in my opinion, and you can always accent that with little bits of paint here and there. All right. Now, I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick that up or not, but I can certainly see a difference in the two. I'm hoping it does. See if I can get this to focus here. If you look at the one on the left, you can see it's starting to creep up on the sides here, and on the sides on the other there. And this leather is actually from my scrap pile, and it's actually very good quality. And it had come with kind of a finish on it, so it's going to be less likely to bleed. But you can see, again, on the sides here, starting to creep up a little. Now if we look over to the side with the sheen, there is little to no creeping of the dye. So what my tip is, if you're doing something that has, a lot of a detail, and, this, like if I had just a regular border on here and I, could take the black dye all the way up into the border, I would be, less concerned with taking that first step of adding the sheen, because you have more room to work with. But as I progress through my crafting, I'm always trying to come up with a kind of a signature, or develop my style. And I've noticed, actually looked at some of my early work, that let's see, I think I've shown this before, but here's a sheath I made a while back. And going around the edge and kind of making that that edge work with the dye is kind of something that I really like the way it looks, and I'm going to be incorporating that consistently in my work. So for this, it works very well to make sure that it stays neat and consistent. For me, if there was like some bleeding up here, I'd have to retool all this and make sure that, it was pleasing to my eye. So hopefully that tip helps a few of you out there. I know there's not a lot that watch the video, but my videos, but those of you who are interested in the leather crafting, please, use this technique. It works very well and adds, some extra protection for you, to make sure that, your dye jobs look really nice. And yeah, so just keep crafting and embrace your creativity, guys. This is Tim. Peace.